Yeah, so continuing, we are mostly doing problem solving, but we stumbled over something really useful here, and it was the idea. Well, first of all, let me do a quick review here. Today we're going over ways that we can pass information from a controller to the view. And so far we have discussed two ways out of the three. One is a list. Oh, well, the problem that we're having is that we want to send over more than one type, more than one class of a kind. So the problem that we were having is we want to pass to this arena view two characters from this controller action. We want to pass it fighter 1 and fighter 2 so we can display their information. But we got kind of stuck because we had no way of passing, or we couldn't think of a way of passing more than one. Right now, you see this model is just one character. So there are different ways of passing um, more than one class at a time, or more than one single class at a time. The first one is, hey, it's a list. So you could say something like list characters. Then you could pass that here, and then you can pass it more than one character. We got that one, right? We understand that one. Beautiful. The second one was, hey, use the view bag. So you could do, hey, view bag equals, view bag dot player one equals fighter one, and view bag dot player two equals fighter two. And then in the view itself, we could reference the information for the ones that we passed in the HTML. We might have to cast it as a character if you cannot get all the information. Most of the time it's pretty smart trying to convert it, but if it doesn't, cast it to the type that you want, to the type that you want or are trying to use. And this is great that we recorded this because these are very good notes here. Okay, and the third one, which is I think the most important one and I think the most useful overall, is that as developers and architects, we are gods. We ourselves are able to make up and create any kind of type that we want, any kind of container to pass information or just anything, pretty much any kind of class. Because remember, models are containers for information that you pass from one. Well, we're using it to pass from one place to another. In this case, from the controller action here to the view. And we want to pass it to the arena view. We are going to update this model with whatever we're passing it. But ultimately, that's what we want. So we decided to create our own container, our own class, and we called it characters container, in which character container can hold player one, which is a character, and another character called player two. So we could put stuff in there. So far, so good, guys. Hello?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, this is very good. I'm glad you brought it up. This is very important to record, I think. Um, yeah, and also, by the way, at the same time we're going over this, we're problem solving. So just hang in there and do the two. Okay, so now we created our own because remember we're gods. We're developers. We're architects. So we created our own container, our own class called characters container. And we can create an instance of that character container to put things in it. This is a two-passenger seat pretty much, like what is it? Yeah, two-seater, two characters in it. All right. So I'm going to create an instance of it by saying new. What is the name of our class, the one we created, our container?
Character container.
Character container. There we go. And well, let's take a look at what is inside character container. Let's see. So I have an instance. It's called our character container. So let's see. Can I do anything? I'm going to try to peep inside. So how do I peep inside? How do I? Was that?
Hover.
Well, no. Well, that to the value. How do I op? Yeah. How do I crack open a class or see what's inside? See what's it made of? What can I use? The dot, my friend. The dot. That's how you open. So, aha. So let's see. I have something called player one there, which is a field character, a property, and player two. So I can use it to put things in here. Look at that. So player one equals, what can I put in here? What should I put here? Oh, by the way, yes, I have already retrieved name one here, name two here. So I retrieve from the database fighter one, the information for fighter one, who has the name ID, which I guess where's our database here. So I guess it's gonna be this guy here with the ID 134, and name ID 2 is gonna be, we're gonna use find. So the ID is gonna be 136 because these are the only two characters that we have in the database right now. Need to create some, and so we're getting that information, their information, and we're putting it into this class here. So player one, what can we put in? What should we put in player one? Was that?
Let's see. Our character container. Player one equals.
Yeah, who do we want to put in seat one that we want to send over to the other place?
Bob.
To,
you want to send Bob over.
okay, so where is Bob right now?
Fighter one?
That's right. Fighter one.
Huh.
And who should we put in the seat number 2?
Fighter.
That's right, fighter 2. So now we have these two, right? We got right here. So our container is full. We got, it's we have in player 1 we have fighter 1. Player 2 we have fighter 2. So we want to pass this to the view. So let's just pass our character container. Okay, so this looks somewhat okay. It's very powerful. It's a very, very powerful mechanism here. We just made up our own class, our own container, and we filled it with whatever we wanted to, and we send it, we're passing it over to this view here. Now, let's go to the actual view, and we have to update the model. What model are we dealing with? What model are we passing to it?
Our character.
Well, the instance is called character. The class is called characters. Container, yeah, correct. Container. It's not gonna see it right away because remember, I kind of just for simplicity's sake, I just dropped it here in the middle of this class here and this namespace. Excuse me. So the namespace that I made, I really should have put it in the base namespace, which I guess I will. Well, right now, what namespace is it under? How do I find out? Is it under any special namespace? How would I go about finding out?
Probably F12.
Nope. Well, I mean, I'm inside a controller, right? Or some kind of
Yeah.
folder, well, some kind of file. So I go all the way up. Okay, so is there a namespace that I declared here in this page?
Oh, cloud test controllers.
Yeah, I'm inside the controllers right now. Here. You could tell also I'm inside because if you follow this here, all the way down, I'm still inside because you see this here? This is the closing bracket. And
Um,
what closing bracket is it closing? What namespace?
cloud test controllers.
Yes. So right now I'm inside cloud test.controller. So either I can just copy this, hold on, this namespace. It actually it helps you, I think. Look for it. There you go. You're basically saying this is the class and this is where it is. If I wanted to remove it from this or just put it somewhere else in um, another namespace, I would just rip it out of this controller here and put it outside in some file somewhere here, anywhere really, or just copy it outside here and just create my own namespace. We'll do that again another time or something. But do you guys understand why it's here? Where I created it? Which namespace I created it under? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, good, good, good. Yeah, that's very important. Do you want me to change it to another namespace or we're good for now?
We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, so now I am in the arena and the model currently is of type character class. So let me ask you a question. This is a very, very important question here. So if I say, hey, if I try to use it, if I say, hey, if I say model, if I put a dot, you see what I see? I see player. And then do I have access to the properties of player? What is player supposed to be? What kind of class? It tells you. Look at that. Isn't that powerful?
Wow.
You see character. So it's of type character. So it knows it's of type character. So if I press dot, I have access to all of the character's properties as well. So I could say name. And same thing here. Let's say player 2 name. And since we passed it as one container, I have access to both players here.
Oh my goodness. So that's how you fix that problem.
Which problem? Oh yes, yeah. This is
Oh man.
one of the issues. Yes. It's very powerful creating your own containers, your own models. That is a model. You just have just created a model here.
Yeah, that's great.
So let me see here. So well, we don't know if it worked. I think these are gonna crash, but because it's trying to get things that it don't do. We'll see. See here saying ID does not. Yeah. Well, let's see. I'm just gonna. I'm just testing, so I'm just gonna comment it out right here. Well, let's see if it worked. We don't know if it worked. Let's check it out. Okay. So for those playing at home, we are going through an assignment where when we press this button, we go to a page that has 2 drop downs and a button. Okay. There we go. And these are supposed to reflect the roster. Right now we only have 2 characters in the database, Bob and Orc. So I will choose Bob as the first fighter and Orc as the second fighter. When I press this button, it's going to get sent over to the action, the arena action, which is where we were just now. Right here. And in this form, we're sending the name ID 1 here. Well, sending name ID, which is select here is like it could be either 134 for Bob and 136 for Orc, and we're then sending name ID 2, which is again the same thing, whichever we choose here. As you can see from the database, 134, 136. Okay, so I'm going to submit, and I'm going to put a breakpoint here just to see. Here we go, I'm pressing it. So I have submitted as a post in the form to this action here, arena. And we check to see, okay, name 1, name ID 1, 134, correct. Name ID 2, 136. So we have their IDs. So we find them in the database and put the first one in this container here because it's a type character. And the second one, we put them in this instance of this character called Fighter2. There we go. And let's see if we manage to retrieve them, if they have information inside. So we go over Fighter1, and there you go. Barbarian, Bob, Dragonborn, and Fighter2, Dragonborn. This one's Orc. We create our container here, the class we have just created. We just made it up because we wanted to set 2 characters here, and we call it character containers. All right. We put our characters from the database inside here. We set them. Basically, we said, hey, Fighter1, go on and sit in seat 1 over here. We call it player 1, the box called player 1. And Fighter2, go and snuggle up on the second seat, which we call it player 2. All right, we put it in, and then we pass this container to the view. You could tell, by the way, by hovering over the container. This is the overall container here. And it has player 1, which of course contains Bob, and player 2, which has Orc. So now we go on to the next one, to the arena. And we should be able to display, once we go here, because we're passing something of character container, display name, player 1 name, and player 2 name. So there you go. We are passing it, now we're inside the arena HTML page. So name for player 1 and player 2. So when I hit this, we're going to let it run, and let's see what's going to display. Okay, there we go. We did not do any kind of formatting or anything, but this is correct. Notice we have model 1 player name, player 1 name, player 2 name. Player 1 name is Bob. Player 2 is Orc. So that is so now we managed to pass 2 classes in a container. And we could make the container as big, and we could put any kind of data as we want, and we could pass it as a lone container here. For example, this name doesn't have to change, but what is in it we can expand the meaning or the size of it and what it carries at our will. At will, pretty much. So before we go on, though, here we have access to player 1 and all the information, and player 2 and all the information, which is kind of what we wanted for this assignment, to display all the information for Bob and all the information for Orc. So here we kind of have satisfied the main goal of the assignment, correct? Yes? Yes. I mean, it needs a little bit more tweaking and whatnot, but this is good. This is a very, very good step here. I would leave the rest, just for display purposes and messing around, and styling, and just for displaying information's sakes. But what I want to reiterate or just expand on is that, again, this page we're always going to pass a character container, right? And right now, a character container, what can a character container carry? Dan?
Character container contains the character and all parts of it well, we have 2 characters, really.
Well, yeah. What can it sit? What can it carry around? It carries 2 characters. It carries something of type character, we call it player 1, and something of character, so 2 characters. That's what it's currently carrying. So when I pass it around to this, we know that we can use 2 characters, right? Is that legit? Is that okay? Dave, is that clear?
Yes.
Yeah. But we can expand the meaning of characters container. It could carry anything. It can carry as many players as you want. It could carry 20 players or 50 players. Pretty much anything. And the container is always the same. It's always the same name. We don't have to change it. We don't have to do anything. So for example, we change what it carries, right? What's inside, what's inside. But you see here, we don't need to change anything here because this is the kind of container that we're using. As long as we know what's inside the container, how it's been expanded, we can add information here and we can use the information.
If we did like a for each, we could put like an entire database of characters inside that container, possibly?
Well, pretty much, yeah. I mean, for that, you could just use a list.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you could also, this character container can contain this. Look, check it out. Public. You could just say list character and then call it roster. There we go. So you could just put everything inside here. But let's say that you not only wanted roster information, hey, what if you wanted other kinds of information? For example, hey, what about where the weapons at? Oh, we don't have weapons yet. Well, let's say all the races. You could have something, you could have a list of races as well. Public list race. Oh, we haven't, I don't think we've exported. We don't have the type yet. All right. Well, we could have a list of anything. Let's call it strings or something. And races. And again, you could pretty much have this model carry or contain any kind of information here. And you could pass it around like a box with all this information inside. Basically, your imagination is the limit. You could put anything in here, and this is how we use how it's used in the real world. By the way, at my job at work, I use these all the time. They're kind of compound classes or compound containers that contain things of different types. So a perfect hmm, a perfect example would be let's see, public class, well, your address, right? An address, it's a class or a container that contains that group of information, right? What kind of information does an address carry with it or can contain? A street name, right?
Zip code. Yeah.
Yeah,
Person name, street name.
yeah. String, oh, well, person name, I guess, yeah. Public. And again, this is how real classes are. This is all that is a class, and we have done this before. All a class is just a container for things of kind of other types of information. Street. No, well, it's a string. Street. Public and zip. But again, it can contain things of other types as well. So address. Now, let's say you have something called in your address. Let me see. You have zip. I guess who owns it or something. Let's say that. Well, actually, instead of oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. Okay. Instead of a string or just a person name, how about this is the address for a character, right? I want Bob's information. This is Bob's address. So, yeah, so you could have actually something of character type. Call it maybe character. Yeah, I guess character. Well, character name or just car for short. Yeah, and I guess in this container, you would have things. This address would be, let's say, for example, let's say I just created something. Let's var address equals new address. Oh, 1 second. I know it's on there, but don't worry about it. Okay, var address, and I'm gonna make up something of. I'm gonna create an address here, right? All right. So if I say address dot, you see it has car. I could put a character in here. Or I could put a street name or a zip, which is a name. So again, think of it as containers that you could put all sorts of information, all types of information, and pass around. Yeah, so this is pretty good here. Let me go back over here. But you guys get the point there, right? Beautiful. We are at a pretty good place here. We haven't even started on the other thing. I don't even know if we have time, but let me number 3, create your own model, class, or container. So you guys can appreciate how powerful and how strong and how cool that is, right? That is extremely cool. And that is pretty much the bread and butter of a developer, a programmer. Because that is, yeah, remember, you guys are gods. That's what you guys are. You know what else you guys are? Stallions, my friend. Don't forget. Stallions. I gotta send that video. I gotta put that video up again. Stallions, my friend. But yeah, I'm a little bit behind on the videos because most of the times we're just been doing kind of going over homework and problem solving one on one or two on one, and that is really good for us. But I really should have been recording more because then you guys can go back and look at it. Um, and I mean, we've been, yeah, I think a couple of past ones, we've been more trying to figure out what we were doing with certain things, like the alert for the real class that will come soon. Um, yeah, some of the Java stuff I think I need to go over. But yeah, and that's okay. Okay, so continuing on, how do we feel? Let me run this. And that this is great right here though, how we arrived at this example. How do you guys feel about the three ways, or the three ways of passing data around, at least through a view? I mean, to a view from a controller. Do we feel good? Well, passing more than one of a class type. Uh, do we feel good about number one, a list?
The list
Yes.
we use pretty strongly. The
Yes.
new one is exciting.
The new one is very exciting. And again, it's just, hey, whip something up and make up some kind of model. Boom, you're in it to win it. No muss, no fuss, easy. And a lot of the time, that's that's what we do. And well, I mean, we try to keep it simple as you know. If one character suffices, then don't use two or create your own structure. But if you need to do so, it's okay. Yeah, so we feel good about this. Okay, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Love it. Love it. Let me run it. Here we go. All right, here we go. All right, so Bob, we need to create a few more. Actually, let's create some more here. Let's create Billy.
I have a button on my
Oh, you
phone
do.
to generate people. Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do that. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Form a new party. I love it. Let's see. Create. Nice. Okay, so we have four. We have thing one. This is good. So this creates automatically four characters for your pre-fabricated characters. This is nice. This is a very nice touch. Okay, so let's go over here. Let's go to the arena. Oh, there we go. So we have the option of all the things, thing one. So let's get thing three versus thing four here. And I'm gonna fight, and that should retrieve the information. I just have breakpoints here. Put it in there. Model name. And blam. Okay. Thing one, thing four, that means all the information went through, and it was very nice. I love it. So yeah, this is very nice. This is very smooth here. Very, very smooth. Display fighters. Sound fictors.
It's strong pad stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. Display fitters. But this is good though. This is good. Uh, yeah, this is very nice. So Dave, I need you to tighten this up a little bit and make it your own. Make it nice and display the information and be nice. So, how's your understanding of the assignment now? Do you think you'll be able to do it now, like without, I mean, from scratch?
Yeah, you might as well just like delete all of this and Yeah, try to memorize it.
I'll do it. Well, it's not memorization. It's like it's the flow. It's a feel. You feel it, and in your head you work out what's missing or what the next step.
Right.
Break it down into steps, and then work it from there. It's a process, though. It takes a lot of practice and time. Like I said, I mean, like I spend endless hours, working over problems or and punching walls and shit, trying
Damn.
to solve problems, and everybody's got to do that. If you haven't, then you're not gonna become like a true hardcore programmer. It's important to struggle. Struggle is part of the whole learning process. I think so, yeah. But this is good. I'll leave this in your hands. I'm very tempted to just delete it, but you know what? I'm gonna let you have it. I think. No, I'm not.
Oh man,
Funny.
Should I undo?
gods, we have the
Sure.
ability to both
Yeah.
create and destroy.
Yeah, that is right. I could destroy it all. I can. I'm not. I'm gonna give you guys a little something something. I'm gonna get the latest. Let's see. I have the latest, and then I am gonna undo all, baby. Shelf undo pending changes. Now I'll hook you guys up. Let's see. I'll give you guys a gift, but really, you guys need to. I don't even know. Hmm. I'll give you guys a freebie for that, just for today. Uh,
That's
latest.
all right.
Huh?
I was gonna say, that's all right. I wrote it all down anyway.
Really? Well, we have the video also, but yes. Yeah, I'll let you guys have it. I'll let you guys have it. I'm gonna go in there and undo it all, but it's okay. Okay, so here we go. Jesus, time freaking flies. What the hell? It's nutty.
Yeah.
How long have we recording? Like 20 minutes? Lord, 40 minutes. Good lord. All right. Now on to the next phase here, because it is our responsibility as people who want to get paid to be ready for interviews and be ready for everything, right? Ready for everything. Okay. And there are certain topics that we need to go over and learn, I think, and certain words that need to be learned and kind of so you're ready. I think Dan, you have well, we don't know when. Let's see into your stuff for
Still
you.
waiting on that. I'll fire off the email like you said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do an email, and then I will email them tomorrow. So let's see. Things to know, especially for interviews. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm gonna make a separate video for the next session or the next part. We're gonna do just a couple of things here, because it's kind of almost 10:30. I don't know. Well, how are your brains?
Doing good right now.
Good.
Okay, are you guys good for at least 20 minutes?
You
Sure.
got me.
That's not what I heard. Oh, uh, oh, I got you. That was a good one. That was a good one. Yes. Come on, that was funny. That was good. Okay. Um, yeah. So, hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna stop here, and then I'm gonna start recording again. That way, we choose whether or not we want to post this because it's kind of questions and stuff, or make it private. All right. I am stopping right now here.